What's up, guys? We have to take a look at Ryan Poles' biggest misses, and I wanted to talk about the biggest problem with this team right now, and it's been the lack of impact players. Right now, the hits outweigh the misses, but the problem is the hits are not providing enough of an impact on Sundays. On top of that, the jury is still out on a lot of these additions. With plenty of question marks, let's go ahead and first take a look at the hits and misses. I want to talk about one thing before I get into this, though. A point that I believe everyone is missing. It's Ryan Poles' process that I believe in. What this front office is doing, building through the draft. Not really the player, not really all of the players he's brought in, but the process. Building through the NFL draft and not overspending in free agency, also acquiring extra draft picks. But there's another point here when it comes to the players acquired, something major that I think is being overlooked. It's never just Ryan Poles who makes these picks or signs these players. It's Ian Cunningham, Jeff King, the scouting department, the head coach, and Ryan Poles collaboratively. When it comes to most players, a lot of times the head coach is very involved. You don't draft guys if the head coach doesn't think he'll fit the system. Trading for Jonah Jackson, that is a move you don't make unless Ben Johnson tells you he can get Jonah back to a Pro Bowl level. Colston Loveland, you don't take a tight end in the top 10 with Cole Kmet already on the roster unless Ben Johnson is pounding the table, saying this guy can be a difference maker in my offense. Even in the past with guys like Zach Pickens and Tyreek Stevenson, they were picked to play in Matt Eberflus's defense, but it's not all on the GM when it comes to signing or drafting players. But I regress. Let's go ahead and talk about the hits and misses anyway. First, the misses. We all know about Velus Jones Jr. and Zach Pickens. Poles' selections after round 2 have been iffy. Round 3 in particular has been a trouble spot, where he's picked Velus Jones Jr., Zach Pickens, and Karan Amagaji. He might be 0 for 3 in round 3. Later picks like Tyler Scott, Roshan Johnson, and even Braxton Jones have shown some promise but still failed to deliver. But before Tyreek Stevenson turned things around, he was a guy who was trending towards being Poles' biggest miss. He's a guy we traded up for with high expectations in the NFL. And so far, Tyreek has shown flashes, but after that Hail Mary debacle last year, he started out 2025 by looking awful. He was absolutely cooked by Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Lions, but he bounced back with back-to-back awesome games against the Cowboys and the Raiders. He's a starter. He's shown a lot of potential. And even though a lot of people have written him off already, Tyreek in year 3, if he continues playing well, is a guy trending in the right direction. And we've needed him with all these injuries in the secondary. But the bigger misses have come via trades and free agency. Guys like Nate Davis and Chase Claypool are two of the biggest misses. Nate cost $30 million, and Chase Claypool cost us a second round pick. Ouch. But right now, the Jonah Jackson move also has not looked very good. We only gave up a 6th-round pick to acquire the former Pro Bowl guard, so that move seemed worth the risk. However, giving Jonah Jackson an extension before he ever played a snap in a Bears uniform looks like it's going to go down as an awful move. Now, I will say Jonah already had a bad contract, and we kind of just moved money around. That's something that people aren't really taking into consideration here. But Poles did give us the ability to get out of this contract, but not until after 2026, meaning we're stuck with Jonah for 2 full years. It's fair to say this was another Ben Johnson move, though. No way would Poles make this move without Ben Johnson advocating for it. And right now, this move is trending towards being Nate Davis level of bad. Jonah has to play better. And before Kevin Byard had 3 interceptions in 3 quarters, he didn't look very great either. He was supposed to come in and be the leader of this secondary and a playmaker that gets big time interceptions. And he was also trending towards being a miss, but is another guy who's turned it around over the last couple of weeks. There's a lot of misses and they are starting to add up, but even the hits simply aren't doing enough. And you have to consider these guys' hits. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Kyler Gordon, Jervon Dexter, and Darnell Wright at the very least. They're all quality starters with Pro Bowl potential. However, even talking about those guys, none of them have made enough of an impact yet. Caleb has been good and he's trending towards great, but he as well needs to be better. Rome has probably been the best player on our roster through the first month of the year, but he's also dropped some catchable passes. Darnell Wright looks like he's about to take that next step, but he's struggling with penalties and he just missed the last start. Kyler Gordon hasn't played yet, but is expected to be back after the bye, and Jervon Dexter also isn't doing quite enough, even though he does lead the team in pressures. And the same can be said about the hits we acquired via free agency and trades. Montez Sweat, a very good player, but he has not been the force multiplier or the difference maker that he was advertised to be. DJ Moore is getting paid like a number one receiver, but he performs like a number two at best. Joe Tooney looks great, but I don't think he's taken on the leadership role that I expected yet. Drew Dahlman needs to be a little bit better, even though he has been solid. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, they're good linebackers, but they simply don't make enough impact plays. And this is the bigger issue here. Even more than the misses, it's that Ryan Poles' hits haven't taken that next step yet. Part of that's on the coaches, and I do expect some of these guys to break through really soon. But the jury is still out on a lot of additions. Do you consider DeAndre Swift a hit or a miss? He put up 1,200 total yards last year, but this year he has been awful. It's still too early to tell on guys like Deo Odangbo or Grady Jarrett, but I expect more out of both of them as well. A lot of our draft picks have shown potential, but they haven't done enough or even anything on Sundays yet. This is year 4 for Jaquan Brisker, and we still haven't seen him play up to his potential. Colston Loveland, after 4 weeks, has done nothing other than being picked in the top 10. Luther Burden, the guy I labeled the steal of the draft, has been mostly a non-factor except for one game where he had 3 catches for 100 yards and has still caught the longest air pass of the season. And then Ozzie Trapillo and Shamar Turner, second round picks that are expected to be impact type players. Both were healthy scratches for the first few weeks of the season, but they are trending upwards after getting onto the field recently. The jury's also still out on Austin Booker. Even though he looked great before getting injured in preseason, he needs to continue that into the regular season. And then same with guys like Ruben Hippolyte, Zay Frazier, Terrell Smith, and more. We need to get more production out of our draft picks, specifically guys like Colston Loveland. You don't draft a guy in the top 10 and then not use him on Sundays. We need to get more out of Luther Burden, and we need Ozzie Trapillo and Shamar Turner to develop into starters at some point. The process of this rebuild, I believe, is on the right track. But Ryan Poles and this front office do need to be held a little bit more accountable. The misses are piling up, and the hits simply are not doing enough. We need more impact plays on Sundays. Some of these guys are trending up over the last couple of weeks, but we need to see it continue for the rest of the season. But are you tired of playing against the stacked odds of the house or a sports book? Check out ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market. It's a peer-to-peer prediction market where you play against other users instead of going against the house. You'll almost always get the best price on any spread, any money line, or any player prop since you're playing against other people instead of the book. Use promo code SWIFT, claim up to 200 in profit cash, pretty much matching you dollar for your first 30 days playing on the site. Claim that bonus today. Check out ProfitX. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the draft picks and additions made by Ryan Poles in the front office. As always, I appreciate everyone who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.